Sup, y'all? Welcome to the relaunch of the CrossForge Gaming Podcast. My name is Patrick, otherwise known as Huge Cow Patty, or HCP for short, and I'm going to introduce my panel of guests for our inaugural. Is it really an inaugural episode? If it's not really the first one, I don't know. We're just going to go with it though. First of all, we have Spider-Man. How's it going, Spidey?
Spidey's got to pick up a new webcam.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you you died recently in a very big movie. So,
hey, spoilers.
Hey, I already mentioned that there's going to be spoilers for that particular thing. So,
yeah, to
whatever.
us, but not to them.
Whatever. Well, we're going to be talking about. Okay, if you haven't seen all the MCU movies, there's going to be spoilers. So either stop listening and go watch it and then come back, or just deal with the fact that you're like 3 weeks behind on this. Ned is also here.
Evening, everyone.
We've got Mr. Jimmy Bones.
Yeah, what do you want?
Are you eating? What are you eating?
Fries, okay? Nasty cold fries.
Ooh, like McDonald's fries?
Yum.
Yes, so nasty cold fries.
Those are really good when they're fresh, and like the most disgusting styrofoam things in the world when they're cold.
No, so these are concrete sticks is what they are.
That's nasty. Can't be good for your teeth either. And we have Assad.
Hi.
So Assad, if you've ever watched like Louder with Crowder or something, Assad is our producer who's also on the show at the same time. So hopefully he's over there taking notes about when different things happen, so that later, as he scrambles for a pen and paper, so that later when I'm like, hey, when does this start? We already have that. Nice shirt, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
I like that. So, yeah, so this is going to be a very conversational podcast. We're going to talk about a lot of different topics. We got the show split up into segments. Those of you who are listening to the audio only version, which is actually uploaded to our CrossForge Gaming Patreon page, no, you do not have to subscribe in any sort of way. You don't have to pay us money for this. This is just where it's convenient for us to upload the show. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, you're actually going to see all of the segments kind of broken up. So you'll get the news segment as one video, and then one of the topics as another video, and so on and so forth. So if you want to listen to it completely uncut, go subscribe to the audio feed over on Patreon. We're just gonna move along now. So I also have a note here to promote a special guest. I don't actually have a special guest today. Everybody here works for CFG, so that's where that's going. But we're also going to introduce newly to our show live reads, and I have my very first live. Well, it's not really my first live read ever because I do live reads on Jackbox, but this is the first one that I have scripted. So here we go. CrossForge Gaming is proud to be a humble partner. Pay what you want for a selection of fantastic games and support your favorite charities, game developers, and CrossForge Gaming. If you pay more than the average to unlock additional games and content, or pay a little more than that for a lot more games and content. Once you've decided how much you'd like to pay, you can adjust what percentage of your money goes to the charity or the developer. You can even set some of that money aside to help Humble Bundle with their cost, or send some of it over here to us at CrossForge Gaming. Humble Bundle also offers game bundles, book bundles, bundles to help you learn new skills, and even a Loot Crate style Humble Bundle monthly, which gets you awesome games every month for just $12. They even have a regular store which you can buy games from individually. So click the Humble Partner link in the description of this podcast, get yourself some great content, and help out your favorite charities. On a side note, the Humble Bundle for this coming up month is it has Destiny 2 in it. So if you've been wanting to check out Destiny 2 and just haven't, you can go subscribe to Humble Bundle monthly, and that's the early game, is Destiny 2. All right. We're going to jump into our news portion of this. So the first bit of news actually involves our review guy, Sam. So, Sam, why don't you tell us, without spoiling the review, we don't want you to spoil the review because we want people to actually go watch the review, but without spoiling your opinion on the game, why don't you tell us a little bit about this review you did for Next Up Hero?
I died at the end, so sorry.
All right.
No, I had fun doing it. Is what I will say. It's a little bit shorter than a normal review, or than what I'd normally like to do anyway, because it is an early access game. If it does get out of early access and there's a big change or any big changes or anything like that, I will do another video.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So what's the game like?
it's a top-down. If I were to try to describe, compare it to a game, I guess it would be like a mix of Diablo and what's it called? It's for some reason I want to say that survival randomly generated game, but it's not. It's not that.
Right.
It's
Is it a roguelike?
yeah.
Maybe is that what you're thinking?
It is. I'm trying to think of the name of the roguelike too. It's like Diablo, but the levels are randomly generated, but it's generated by other players. So you can go on there and tell it to make a really long level or a really long, I don't know the actual term, it's not world, but like a really long level where you have to get a certain amount of kills in really fast or take a while to do it. I don't really know what that means. There's a few different options for each setting.
Right.
So you can do there's one that's darkness, and I actually didn't even touch on that in the review. A lot of people didn't even like it, but it's just the whole screen's dark and you have to navigate the map without being able to see.
Oh,
So
that's interesting.
right. So I don't know if maybe it lets you play through the map first and then it goes through again in the darkness mode, but there's all sorts of different modes and stuff for each level design. The thing is, it's supposed to be multiplayer, but it's not entirely.
Yeah, I remember you saying that in the review. So
yeah, it's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
But other than that, still got some pretty cool ideas.
Well, cool. So that's Next Up Hero. That's on the YouTube channel right now. And we'll have a link to that in the description of this podcast, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to the podcast or whatever it is you're doing. All right, new releases. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of fly through these. And if anybody wants to talk about anything that maybe they're excited about, you can go ahead and chime in. So new releases for this week. I really just went in and picked the new releases that seemed like they were kind of bigger deals, because obviously there's a whole bunch of games that get released every single week on Steam and Switch and Xbox and Play and all that stuff. So I just picked out some ones that stood out to me. We've got Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux for 3DS. So 3DS is still getting games. That's good, I suppose, if you're a 3DS owner. Although I just kind of wish Nintendo would just move on to the Switch. But that's coming out on the 15th of this week. Then both for Switch on the 18th, we have Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, which is basically the Wii U game with all the DLC. And I really liked that game, so I'm double dipping and picking that up on Friday. Little Nightmares Complete Edition is also coming out for Switch on the 18th. Have any of you guys played that? I know it's been on PC for a little while.
I've streamed it how many times now?
Well, okay. Our viewers might not know that. So what do you think about it?
I don't know. Ashad, you watched some of it, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
What's your opinion of it?
It's not really my cup of tea, but I think it was pretty well designed.
Yeah, well, it's an absolutely gorgeous game.
Yes.
But it's not particularly high on the complexity scale.
Yeah.
It's more an ambiance game than a gameplay or story game.
Okay.
Yeah, me and my friends took an evening and beat it fairly quickly. We did enjoy it though. I bought the physical copy of it.
Cool.
Before it came out. Came with a cool little figure and the soundtrack and a poster.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why you want the poster. The poster is the fat people from the game.
What do you mean, from the galley?
Yes.
The eaters or the cooks?
I think the eaters and the cooks. It's like a mix. It's very. I don't know why you'd want it on your wall. Unless you're really
It's the golden age of grotesque, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then also on the 18th for Xbox One and PC, we have State of Decay 2, which I know a lot of people are excited about. I haven't played the first one, so I know it's one of the zombie games. I think personally I'm going through a little bit of zombie fatigue, but that's just me.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Deadpool 2 is coming out in theaters on the 18th. Although I'm sure if you live in the right area, you can find some movie theaters showing it real late at night on Thursday, the 17th. I'm really excited. I'm excited for that movie. I'm gonna go see it.
I've read some early screening reviews, and apparently it's absolutely amazing and 10 times more not for kids than the first one was.
That's not surprising.
I still can't believe parents let their children to see the first one
dude,
without realizing.
I went to Walmart and I was looking around in there buying something. I can't remember what, and I saw this mom and dad looking through DVDs, and they see Deadpool, and I'm seeing their kids, like this 6-year-old kid, 6-year-old little girl, and they throw it in their cart, and I'm like, hey guys, that's not for her, is it? And they're like, yeah, why not? It's like, hey, no, it's not. Trust me.
No,
like, what?
Well,
Well, I mean, about half the people I've said that to.
Oh,
Yeah, half. Well, you remember the original Deadpool? The billboard said they advertised it as a love story, right?
Yeah, the
Not a
Valentine's
romance
Day.
movie.
Yeah.
perfect.
So, like, roughly half the people I've told this to back then, before everyone knew what it was, about half of them trusted me on that.
Mhm.
And that's usually when I'm wearing, like, an X-Men t-shirt or Ninja Turtles or something somewhat nerdy. And the other half tell me to, buzz off and mind my own business. So I'm like, okay, well, what else? No, don't get me wrong. I envy those kids. If my mom was that cool to buy me something like that when I was that young. Sean, is that a Naruto pop in your background there?
Well, you can see that.
Yeah.
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 Naruto and Batman next to Naruto? Is that Batman?
My friend made the mistake of taking his mom to go see Deadpool with him.
Oh, it's a great date.
And
Yeah.
I don't think he realized what it was going to be like, and she definitely didn't know. She was yelling at him as soon as the movie ended.
Oh, wow.
Why would you
I wish
yell?
I
I
was
mean,
there.
it's such a great movie.
I wish I was there to see it.
Well, my wife and I loved it, so we didn't see it till it was on Blu-ray, though. So,
Well,
um,
you should have seen it in the theaters. It was
well, that's why I'm going to see the second. All right, games with gold. So we're going to go through the free stuff. Games with gold. That's the Xbox Live subscription free games. Super Mega Baseball 2 is coming. Is free until the 31st. That's an Xbox One game. Assassin's Creed Syndicate is good until the 15th, which is probably going to be on the day that most of y'all are listening to this. That's also Xbox One. And then Sega Vintage Streets of Rage is also good until the 15th. That's a 360 Xbox One backwards compatible game. Sam, you are the resident PlayStation guy. Why don't you tear through those PS Plus games?
All right. So Beyond Two Souls. Forgot the name of the dude who directed that, but it's a very narrative driven game.
It's the same group that did oh shoot, what was it? The one about the kid that
Heavy
gets
Rain.
kidnapped. Heavy Rain, that's it.
Yep.
David Cage.
David Cage,
that's
yes.
Mhm.
He's an interesting dude, but that game is really cool. I never played it, but I watched a Let's Play. It seemed to be a little bit more interactive than Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain. Mhm.
But it's I don't know. I seem to like it better than Heavy Rain. Either way, I haven't played either one of them, but I did like Beyond Two Souls. Rayman Legends, great platformer. I get them confused a lot, but I'm pretty sure I've played that one. That one's really fun. Risen 3, I believe that's an ARPG.
I don't actually know anything
I've
about
never-
some of these games.
Right, I've never played any of that in the series. I'm pretty sure it's an ARPG though.
Mhm.
Eat Them, that I've never heard of.
It's they got an exclamation point. You have to yell it. Say it again.
Eat Them.
There you go. Good job. Don't mess this up.
Okay. Action arcade game for the PS3.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I just realized why Darman's not here. Color me stupid.
Yeah, he's on Twitch. That's why. Or either he or Melissa's on Twitch. So, all right, yeah, and then the last two.
King Oddball, that's a mobile game ported to consoles. It's a mobile game. I mean, really not much to say about it. Furman's, also don't know what that is. Interesting though. title-wise anyway.
Yep.
That's
And PS Plus games, some of them are exclusive to one PlayStation console or another. Some of them are cross-platform. But regardless of whether or not you own that particular console, you can just go to Sony's website and put all of them in your library and have them. And then one day, if you're like, hey, I found a Vita for really cheap, well, now you have access to the Vita games. So there's no reason, if you have PS Plus, there's no reason to not go get those. Ned, I'm going to get you to read through our Twitch Prime free games for this month.
All right, so first one is Gone Home. That's a very moody, atmospheric exploration story game.
Walking Simulator.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to call to use the derogatory term, yes.
Yeah.
It's one of those walking simulators. It is one of the better ones.
Yep.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's worth playing through. The replay value isn't very high, but playing through it once is well worth it. Next is a cult classic from the mind of Tim Schafer, and that is Psychonauts.
Heck yeah. Everybody get that.
Absolutely. It's probably the best game on the list, honestly.
I think I own like 3 or 4 copies of that game already.
Yeah, it is so good. The next one I don't really know about. It's called High Hell.
You said hell on a Christian podcast.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, just wait till what I have to say.
Oh, that looks good though.
Moving on.
So next on the list is I Hope. If I remember correctly, that game, it's a kind of Zelda-ish.
I've never heard of it, and a bad host, but sure, it's Zelda-ish.
The next one is it's an indie game that kind of made it sort of big on Twitch a little while ago, called Cluster Truck. It's basically it's basically a game where the whole point is that you are doing stunts by jumping from truck to truck, and if you hit the ground, you lose. But if you make it to the end from jumping truck to truck, then you move on to the next level. It's very frenetic, but it's a puzzle game disguised as a platformer.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Kind of addicting.
And then one, Patty, that you're probably really familiar with, and that is Titan Souls.
That's right. Nobody knew what Titan Souls was until I played it on P3, and then it just exploded. No, that's not true at all.
It would have been more fun to watch if it had exploded.
Probably. No doubt there.
But yeah,
if go ahead.
If you want pixel art Dark Souls, Titan Souls is your game.
Pixel art Dark Souls, also very Zelda-ish.
Yes.
So, all right. So those are the free games that are coming out this month. The Xbox ones have the date tied to them that we mentioned during them. The ones for PS Plus and Twitch Prime are available through the entire month of May. And so next episode, we'll have new games for Xbox Live Games of Gold, but then you won't hear about the PlayStation Plus or Twitch Prime and when those games cycle over. All right. General news. We're going to just go through some of these real quick. These are 3 stories that kind of stuck out to me. And actually, I meant to add a 4th one.
I've got one to start with, actually.
Okay, go ahead.
Toronto police arrested Thanos.
That's okay. I have to Google this.
Well then.
Of course, Canada. Of course, this would happen in Canada.
I saw that.
Did you?
Was that half of the police force, or
Yeah,
Only 3 police in Canada.
Sir, have you been
my
illegally
word.
snapping in the area?
It was
Go ahead.
awful, man. I was in a truck wash out, yeah, and there's this lovely truck wash in Antioch, Tennessee. I can't remember the name of the place, but it's run by a lovely family of people, and they always have just the most like off-brand news playing. And when I say that, I mean not NBC, not Fox, not ABC. It's just like HLN, whatever that is. and it's this wannabe Good Morning America show, and they're doing these puff pieces, and this was one of them. And I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, these cats are trying so hard not to give spoilers that they're really bad at it. And I thought it was fun. But this Thanos was dressed up just like, not like movie Thanos, not like comic book Thanos. We're talking like Marvel versus Capcom Thanos.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture right now. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good costume.
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything wrong. Sounds like it was just for the photo.
But sometimes you have to go after people like that. We can't have all these purple people running around all the time, snapping their fingers and stuff.
It's ridiculous. That's why we need the wall. Stinking purple people.
Oh my god!
All right.
I wasn't gonna go there. I wasn't, and then you crossed my boundary, and now you've ruined it for me. I'm not gonna be able to shut my mouth.
First episode of CFG podcast, and we're already all right. All right, moving on away from that before
horrible jokes. That's what.
That's right. So Nintendo announced their plans, and they kind of did it quietly. They've been doing that a lot, where they'll just, here's a YouTube video that you weren't expecting today. Then it has their online plans lined up. Now, I know some people hear that and they go, wait a minute, Switch doesn't have online? No, it does. They just aren't charging for it yet. Some of this stuff doesn't surprise me at all, and some of it surprises me a little bit. So I'll just real quick go through. An individual membership for 12 months is $20. Honestly, if you pay the 1 month or the 3 month price, you're just being silly, because it's $4 for 1 month and $8 for 3 months. Just get to 12 months. Come up with $20. Go ask your mom to spot you and get the 12 months. Or an even better deal for $35 is the family plan, and that actually includes you and 7 other people. Now, how that compares, not just price wise to Xbox Live and PSN, because those are both $60, but on both of those, if one person, well, and I know this about Xbox, Sam, you can correct me if I'm wrong about PlayStation, but on Xbox, if say I have Xbox Live Gold, then my son and my wife, as long as they're on my console, also have Xbox Live Gold. They don't have to have their own. Now, if they go to another system, they would have to have their own Xbox Live Gold plan. PlayStation works the same way, Sam?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So this with Nintendo, when it says that you and 7 other people have a membership, you have a membership no matter where you go. So if I buy a membership and then my son has his own Switch and my wife has her own Switch, they'll have all the features no matter what Switch that they're on. So that's really cool. Some things that are kind of a bummer, online cloud saves are I don't know about PlayStation, but Xbox Live used to work like that. Now everybody just gets cloud saves on Xbox.
PlayStation is locked behind PS Plus, unfortunately.
What's new there, though?
So that's kind of lame. What's that?
I said, what's new about that? PlayStation Online access has always been garbage compared to Xbox Live.
I mean,
yeah.
Where's the lie? Another thing that I thought was interesting, because I thought for sure, at the very least, the 3 big games that are online right now, which are Mario Kart 8, Splatoon 2, and ARMS, would remain free because they've been free for so long. Right. That is not the case. Come September, if you want to keep playing Splatoon 2 and ARMS and Mario Kart 8 and Bomberman and anything else that's online on the Switch over the internet, you have to have the subscription service. So that's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Another neat thing, well, some people think it's neat, some people don't. There's no virtual console coming to the Switch. I actually was planning on that being a topic for the next episode of this, so I'm not going to go too deep into my opinion on it. But this is one of the reasons, is because they're offering a Netflix-like collection of games to anybody that's subscribed. The first 20 are all NES games, and how this differs from Virtual Console, aside from the fact that you can't just outright buy them, is they're giving each game enhancements, like being able to play online. So if for some reason you were just itching to play Ice Climbers with someone over the internet, now you can do that. Whereas Virtual Console was very much about keeping the game as true to the original as possible. And it seems like they're kind of getting away from that. with the online service.
Okay, so basically, what you're saying is kind of a group of remasters as a subscription remasters, as opposed to straight up very, very, very true to form ports.
Yes.
Okay, because I actually have some of the games that are on there right now in the store that are just straight up ports, and they don't always translate well. Like new Super Mario, or not new, but the Super Mario Brothers, the original arcade version of it.
Yeah.
It's pretty clunky and it's hard to play on Switch.
And they're expecting to go in and fix some of those things. Now, another thing, and again, I don't want to get too deep into this with comparing it to Virtual Console because I want to talk about it in another episode. But another thing that it'll be up to each individual publisher and developer of the retro games to take care of how they want to handle their games. So, for example, the Mega Man collection that just came out for all the major consoles, including Switch and PC. If Capcom wants to go in there and emulate the slowdown when Mega Man gets hit, they can do that. Or if they want to go in there and take that away, which I feel like would just make every Mega Man fan on the planet very angry because it's part of the game, they're free to go do that too. Whereas on Virtual Console, it had to mimic the way the game was on the NES. So whether Capcom wanted it to or not, that slowdown was going to be there. So that's how that works. But anyway, so that's that. You'll, if you're a Switch owner and you want to play online, expect to be paying for that privilege starting this September. I don't think there's an exact date in September. It's just September. Yeah, but it's coming. All right, a little bit of funny news. As E3 approaches every year, we commonly see online stores accidentally leak products that haven't been announced yet, and Walmart Canada did that pretty recently with some games like Beyond Good and Evil 2, which that's a game that we knew was coming out. Ubisoft's been working on it, but another game that they leaked that no one had any idea even existed was Rage 2. And most of the time what happens is the accident happens and then the retailer scrambles to pull the page down, which did happen this time. Walmart Canada got rid of the page as quickly as possible. But instead of getting scolded by the developer, which is who developed? Oh, it was Bethesda. Bethesda's, yeah, they're the. I know they're the publisher. I don't know if they're actually the developer because Bethesda owns a bunch of developers.
Developer is id Software.
id Software.
Oh, id.
No,
Yeah.
The developer is actually different this time around.
Oh, is it?
Really?
People were questioning that, and I just read an article somewhere. I'm gonna have to find it again.
Well, can I be the first person to say who actually wanted this game?
I
Are you asking the question? Who wanted this game? Oh, I mean, I didn't think the first one did that well, so I was a little surprised myself.
It didn't, but it had a decent cult following. I know there was a lot of people that I believe the modders fixed some of the issues, and then it just kind of like faded into obscurity.
So it's like any other Bethesda game: release it broken and let everyone else fix it.
Well, no. If it's an id game, then we're talking a pedigree that goes back to Doom.
Yeah.
Oh. The developer is Avalanche Studios, so Just Cause and Mad Max.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So 2 games I didn't care for.
Yeah, I like Just Cause, but
yeah, I know you did.
Me
Just
too.
Cause fun's to mess around with.
Come on, Ned.
Was basically a demo for the id Tech 5 engine. That's basically what the game was at the first Rage.
Okay.
It was basically intended as a demo for the id Tech 5 engine. Which was later used to make the first new Wolfenstein game, Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Yeah, which I heard that was amazing. I haven't played it yet.
Are you talking about when you say the first new? Are you talking about the one that just came out that had such a huge political hullabaloo surrounding it, or the one
that was the second one called The New Colossus.
Okay, because I remember playing one of the newer Wolfensteins maybe a couple of years ago and not being all that impressed with it. Of course, now, to be fair, if that's built off of an engine that they were demoing with Rage. My thing is that the name is apropos, because if I paid full retail price for a game that was just a demo of an engine, I would be full of rage myself.
Well, I say it was a demo for the idTech 5 engine, but it was a full game. The main Rage gameplay-wise was pretty much what you expect from an idTech game. The actual shooter gameplay was decent, if not exemplary.
Based on what standard?
It had the same fast and fluid feel you'd expect from a Doom-ish game.
Doom-ish? Because, I mean, you want fast and fluid, look at the Doom that just came out. You want, a game that I feel superior, look at Doom 3. So, I mean, you got to... Is it more like Quake? Is it more like the new Doom? Is it more like, your careful, slow, thought-out shooter? Is it,
I would say it's actually a good mix between the new Doom and Fallout more than anything.
Which Fallout?
4.
Okay.
Yeah, basically it was a post-apocalyptic shooter that the main shortcomings it had were the pacing of the game was off. It started off with a bang, and there was good progression early on, and then it kind of petered out about a third of the way through, and it kind of stumbled story-wise after that.
So anyway, this leak happened, and now we know Rage 2 exists. Instead of getting like super scolded, the Rage official Twitter account, which is @RageGames, took a screen cap of the Walmart page that had it up, and they did some pretty funny stuff. It looked like they were grading it like an art project. They pointed to say incorrect key art, that the logo was in the wrong font and it's not in all caps. I don't actually understand what this A is. Is that from the game?
I believe it's the Anarchy A. Right?
Oh yeah.
But the Anarchy A was used in the original Rage logo art.
Oh, okay. So that's supposed to be the key art. And then the missing age rating on it. So it was a little fun little jab instead of like getting crazy or anything.
Love the current set of PR.
Oh yeah.
Most companies have nowadays.
It's fantastic. And then the parent company Twitter account, which of course is the official Bethesda Twitter account, just tweets at the Rage account the word "dude." Because clearly this wasn't what was how the game was supposed to be revealed. So there, we now know that Rage 2 exists, and by not denying that it existed and actually poking fun of the leak, they sort of officially revealed that it is a thing, which I don't know, was probably better than whatever it was they were planning to do in the first place. So
along the lines of that, the announcement trailer actually came out today. It was originally intended to come out today. And so when this leak happened less than a week beforehand, there's a reason Bethesda's chief marketing director, Pete Hines, basically pointed to that Rage Game Twitter tweet and said, "This is why we can't have nice things."
Oh, yeah, I did see that here in the, Pete Hines in the article that I'm reading. By the way, just for covering all my bases, I got the Nintendo information straight from Nintendo's website, but this article about what we're talking about right now, I actually got from Eurogamer. You can find the story anywhere, but I just want to cite my source and give credit where credit is due.
So we do get gameplay tomorrow too, our gameplay trailer.
Yeah. And I'll link to. I'll make sure the gameplay, the announcement trailer is down there in the description as well. All right, I want to gloss over this real quick. I didn't have it here in the notes, but I meant to add it. Final Fantasy VII Remake apparently got a release date, and it's 2023. So there you go. Yeah.
Well, by then we'll actually have a Skyrim that isn't broken.
Oh.
I mean,
and then a month before, they're going to announce that it's been pushed back.
Probably. So yeah, if anybody was hoping, hey, I'm gonna get my hands on that real soon. No, it's not happening.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Yeah, I think they actually gave like a specific date in 2023, which I thought was kind of crazy. Like, you're not going to stick to that. Don't pretend.
They could pull an Iron Man and push it to a month early.
I mean, they could, which that'd be exciting. Maybe they put it that far out so that they can surprise us that it's actually coming out in 2021.
Benefit of low expectations.
2 years.
Somehow I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it. It's Square Enix. They can't hit anything. I mean, when's that Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out? Never. That's when it's coming out. It's not.
I don't know. I heard something like the next 5 years, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard that about Duke Nukem for like 20 years.
It's going to be an Atari box exclusive.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. You know what? Atari box is an amazing thing. I have been wanting Atari to come back since Jaguar failed, and I tell you what, I would be the first person to stand in line to buy a new Sega system.
If Sega ever was like, "Hey, we're doing like Dreamcast 2 or whatever the heck they would
Genesis
call it,
Forever Fools.
I would all about it.
I remember when the Dreamcast 2 rumors were going around. I was so excited.
Mm-hmm. And just to be disappointed. And then lastly, as
Vision 2020.
Yes. And then as Nintendo promised, the NES Classic is coming back to stores. It will be on store shelves on June 29th, and they're planning on keeping it much better stocked like they have with the SNES. So if you're one of those people who paid like $200 for one on eBay, I'm sorry. If you're thinking to yourself that I will pay $200 for one on eBay soon, don't, because Nintendo has actually done a pretty good job keeping the SNES Classic in stock. Not like super well, but well enough that you really shouldn't have that much difficulty finding.
Okay, so do you think that the limited run?
Are we boring you, Jimmy?
Oh, absolutely. Nintendo.
Yeah.
Do you think it was artificial scarcity, the original NES?
Well, see, they said that they were only planning on that being out for that Christmas, and then they were going to be done with it. And according to Reggie Fils-Aimé, the president of Nintendo America, they didn't think most people who were like gamers would care because they would just want to switch all those games on the Switch.
Have they not been paying attention?
Nope.
I don't. Yeah.
This is the era of nostalgia.
Right. Why are you doing it in the first place? Because people will pay for it. So it's Nintendo's one of those companies that is like, as much as I love them and their games, they make some of the dumbest business decisions
Wii U
ever. The Wii U was bad. It was anyway.
Especially when you look at it from the standpoint of basically what the NES Classic is a single board computer put in a fancy little plastic case to make it look like an NES.
Yep.
I mean, you can literally do almost the same thing.
Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, with a Raspberry Pi.
Pi 3.
Mhm.
And
Didn't it come out that they used just ROMs
Would you
from
like to run that
too?
chair, shall we please?
I know that on the first eShop, or not it wasn't called the eShop back then, but it was on the Wii. People actually got into the code for Super Mario Brothers and discovered that it had some anomalies that existed in pirated versions of it that you could find on the internet. And so they were like, oh, they didn't even use a ROM that they had laying around. They Googled one and took that.
Yeah, they literally used the same .NES file that anyone could roll up to your preferred torrent site and download.
Yeah. And
We do not condone those actions.
While we here at CFG do not condone that, when people tell me that they do it because companies like Nintendo make this difficult, I mean, yeah, I tell them, hey, you shouldn't do that. It's not right. You're stealing. But at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm like, if Nintendo would make this readily available, odds are most people who are pirating games wouldn't be doing it. At least I think.
I think you and I
maybe
have
I'm wrong.
different opinions on the nature of humanity.
I might be giving humans too much credit, but who knows? All right, it's time for another live read as we go into our next segment. I gotta open it. I wasn't prepared. Shame on me, bad host. All right. Are you tired of advertisements or something that you probably don't want to see separating you from watching your favorite CFG Twitch streamer? Are you feeling left out when all your friends use cool exclusive emoticons that you just don't have access to? Well, I got the solution for you. Twitch Prime is the solution to your problem. Twitch Prime members get to watch their favorite Twitch streamers like As Played by Ned or Jackbox Party Pack Nights without having to sit through ads. They also get access to free games and in-game content, which we mentioned some of those free games earlier in the show. And you get those aforementioned exclusive emoticons to use in chat and a free subscription to one Twitch partnered or affiliated channel, such as CrossForge Gaming, and a Twitch Prime members only chat badge, so you can stand out in the chat and make all your friends break the 10th commandment, which is thou shalt not covet, in case you're wondering. Twitch Prime members also get Amazon Prime, giving you access to free 2-day shipping on eligible purchases.
Eligible porpoises.
From Amazon.com, Amazon Prime Music, and Amazon Prime Instant Video. CrossForge Gaming also happens to be an Amazon affiliate, and that gives you more ways to support CFG by doing things you already do anyway. So click the link in the description below this video or in the podcast description, depending on where you're listening to this, and try Twitch Prime for free for 30 days. All right. I promise, as the more I do this, the better I will get at these live reads. It comes with time.
I have a quick bit of news.
Do
was
it.
Actually, a couple hours ago, I believe, but I'm just now seeing this. Cliffy B just announced that Boss Key Productions is no more.
Yeah.
Wow.
Developers of Radical Heights that just
launched.
And
Lawbreakers.
Yeah, Lawbreakers.
I saw commercials for Lawbreakers, but isn't it like Overwatch Lite, kind of like Paladins or something?
Yeah, and it launched around the same time as Overwatch, which was a mistake, but I believe in development for around the same time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I feel like
and it was actually a decent game.
Yeah, I feel like Boss Key was just a victim of very poor timing. Because I heard Lawbreakers was not a bad game, but then like right after Lawbreakers came out, Overwatch came out and just swept everything.
Yep.
So, well,
that's really sad.
Yeah. The key problem that Lawbreakers had was
Boss Key.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the key problem that they had with Lawbreakers was when it released, and the fact that because it was basically designed as in the same vein as Quake 3 Arena, you know, there wasn't even the backstory to hold it together that Overwatch has.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're making that up as they go along.
It's just here's a bunch of meatheads with guns. Go kill each other.
It's basically here's one side who is the law. Here is one side who are, you know, the rebels. Go at it.
Okay. Yeah. For some reason, people want, even if it's shallow, they want their story. I don't know why anybody cares, but
I mean, unless it's if it's a multiplayer game, I don't care that much. But like single player games, I always like if it has like a good.
Oh well, yeah, like I want a narrative. I want some sort of motivation, even if that motivation is giant turtle kidnap girl in pink dress once again, plumber go save. You know, that's usually enough motivation for me. But like in a multiplayer game, like if PUBG had a story, who cares?
Right.
I don't. So
yeah,
they tried to do it with Fortnite.
Well, yeah, and Fortnite does kind of have sort of a little meta narrative that happens completely in the background that you can be totally oblivious to if you feel like, and I am. So
why do so many people play that game?
I mean, I liked it, and it's free.
Fun.
There's that. Same reason people played Candy Crush to death. It was free. Right. I didn't mean to give you that gross taste in the back of your mouth. All right.